All right, there we go. Hey guys, as always, a big good and a welcome to the Appalachia Bees. Yeah, here we go. Dan Crenshaw, Tim Kennedy, and Black Rifle Coffee Company. Can we criticize veterans? Ooh, it got hot this week in my Instagram feed. And some folks aren't happy with me, so I want to explore this a little bit and hear your opinion because it's a bunch of nonsense. And I am going to plant a flag in the ground and take a stand here in just a few minutes because I'm not putting up with some of this stuff. And that's the way it is. Buckle up, this should be a really nice time. Here we go. Hey, to each of y'all, thank you for every thumbs up. Y'all crush it all the time, so thank you for that. Today's video is brought to you by y'all. Our Patreon folks, y'all know this. We put our money together every month. Just yesterday, we made this donation to the FPC, the Firearms Policy Coalition. They crush it every month, so we put our dollars together and donate to them, and that's really cool. So thank you to the Patreon folks. I've said it twice this week already. I'm going to be this weekend in Fort Worth, Texas. Come see me at the USCCA Expo. I'm going to be running their media booth on Friday and Sunday, and then on Saturday, Coleon Noir is taking over. So should be a good time in Fort Worth, October 1, 2, and 3. Two caveats. A caveat. That's very fancy talk for an Appalachian. Grey poupon. Two caveats for this talk. One, honest to goodness, deep respect for all who served. That's the truth. That really is the truth. One time I made a dumb joke. Respect to all veterans except the Coast Guard. Woo-hoo, it got hot. But y'all know I was having fun. But y'all know that. And I've mentioned that so many times. I don't feel like I need to mention that again because I say that all the time. So if you served, thank you. And it's a big deal. And nothing but respect. Number two, we do need to do better with our veterans overall. I think with the mental health issues and the red tape and the nightmare that the VA is, I feel like we use those men and women and then give them a little free college tuition and send them on their way. We go, sorry that you're struggling and here's some free tuition. Sorry your knees and your back don't work anymore. Go away. We need to do better. And I want to say that as well. Like I don't think we do service enough to or for the veterans. And so I think as a society, we need to do better. So that's my opening. So I don't put words in my mouth. That is my official stance. Respect. Big time. Absolutely big time. All right, on Monday, I mentioned this. I mentioned, Dan Red Flag Crenshaw. The dude loves nothing more than re-election and red flag laws. The dude loves them. He's talked about them multiple times. There's been a couple times where he's backed up a little bit, but as a whole, that dude, you put a red flag law in front of him, he will vote yay for it. He loves them. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. No, I criticized him. And then I did this meme on Instagram. Oh, it got a little hot. And if you want to jump over there, I left it up. I got a little bit hot. A lot of support in there, a lot of fun, a lot of conversations, and that's what comedy is supposed to do. We've talked about that before, is create a conversation. However, every time on this channel and on Instagram, every time I criticize a service member, I will get blasted. I mean, F words and called names and just lambasted by a vocal but small number of people. Not that many, but those that are very vocal about it. And they do this blanket statement of how dare you criticize somebody that served. And I'm more of the point, I don't feel like I'm criticizing somebody I served. I feel like I'm criticizing a moron who happened in their 20s and 30s to work for the federal government. Respect for what they did. That's why I started that meme there. That as well, yeah, on some level a hero, on some level a bad A. But no, I'm going to criticize you for your choices today. I can respect your choices in the past. And boy, it got hot. Now, there's kind of like an overall bucket, we'll call it, just a bucket of the hate that I always get from those things that can kind of be summed up by this one nitwit on my Instagram. And he said this in response to that meme of mine. Here we go again. Trashing successful veterans. There seems to be a theme arising. And it kind of blew up from there. You can go chase that if you want to. You're going to be clicking show more, show more, show more, show more comments over and over because there's a lot of comments in there. And some pretty heavy hitters showed up in that thread too to talk about it, including 9mm SMG, who's hilarious. But I think that kind of sums up. I think that one comment is a nice microcosm of the overall bucket of comments that I always get, the hate that always comes in. So I want to address that right now because it's an absolute mess. And I think the bottom line, I know the bottom line, the flag that I'm planting is I refuse to back down on the Second Amendment, period. And I won't. I'm not going to argue it. We're not going to discuss it. If you come out against it, I will. I don't call out everybody, but if it gets my attention and I think it's a good fit for the audience and it's something I want to talk about, I reserve that right to 100% call you out and criticize. Absolutely. No, like the whole idea is I refuse the idea. Blanket refuse the idea that because you served, you're untouchable to criticism. Now, I don't go all the way to the other direction because you'll see that in that thread, a lot of folks are saying you should be held to a higher standard because of that oath that you took. I don't know. I think all Americans should be held to the same standard to protect our Constitution. All of us, every single one of us. So as a blanket, I refuse it. Now, people said, Johnny, you seem to have an axe to grind against Tim Kennedy. Yeah, I do, 100%. Unequivocal. Talked about it for years on here. I mention it once and people just blow up. I'm like, no, this is not new. This is absolutely not new. And to quote Tim Kennedy, I believe gun control is a huge solution. That's not taken out of context. That's not a paraphrase. Those are his words, and it's within the context of what that conversation, the framework of what he and Lance Armstrong were talking about. Oh no, he is clear. And he has defended that stance multiple times, and I have stood there right next to him. I wasn't doing the talking, but I've stood there while he has those conversations with people and just sit there with my own ears and listen. And he is unequivocal, the classic Brovet guy who, anytime I say Brovet, people are like, you can't, is John Lovell a Brovet? No, that's that little segment of those oorah Black Rifle type of guys that are just like, we served and you didn't. We're the ones and you're not. We were trained, so only we get to go poodly-poo, pew-pew-pew. And that's honest to goodness where Tim Kennedy is. He has said before that he doesn't believe 18-year-olds should be able to own ARs, and his words are he is thankful that they can, or thankful that they can't own short guns, and doesn't think anybody at 18 should be able to. I know they can own big ones, but he was talking about short guns in that interview. If you want to chase it, I just butchered that last 30 seconds. If you want to chase that interview, all you have to do is type into Google, Tim Kennedy, Lance Armstrong interview. Watch the first 5 minutes. It's there. And again, he has repeatedly defended those points. And we won't even talk about what he did in Kabul. You can see Mr. Guns and Gear's feed on more on that. And then people are always like, Johnny, Black Rifle, you're going against Black Rifle. Yeah, it's a coffee company. I think Evan Hafer should not, I've said this many times, shouldn't be allowed in front of a camera or a microphone. Like, the guy should not be allowed to talk out loud for his company. I think everybody has a right to speak, but if I was that company, I wouldn't let him talk. He has had to back up so many. That whole Photoshop incident, just a bunch of nonsense. Now, I said all that to say this. That's just 3 examples. I believe, again, just because you serve doesn't mean you're untouchable to criticism, and I don't like that at all. And I completely refuse that. Now, when I do criticize, I always get the same thing, but they served, or they've done more for their country. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I need to defend myself, what I've done. I've paid a lot of taxes, a whole lot of taxes for this country, a lot. Still am. But and we all serve in our own way. Like, there's not one that's better than another. There's some that are different, but not better. And then one guy even said, Johnny, you're just looking for clicks. Yeah, they pay the bills. Happy to have clicks, and thank you for clicking this video. And I'm unashamed about that, and this is a business, and there is a business aspect to this. I do this because I want to, but there is a business aspect to it. I don't know, and that's my question for y'all is I'm not asking, I'm telling you, criticize anybody you want. But my question is what kept coming up in that Instagram thread that's really made me stop in the last 24 hours and think about it. Should those that serve, be held to a higher standard? I don't know. I don't think so. I think all Americans should be held to the same, but it's at least got me thinking about it. So what say you right down below? Just in it for the clicks. Click right down below. Don't, one of these days, Alice, to the moon, one of these days. That's where I'm at. Let me know where you're at. It's a complete mess. Let the fun begin in the comments section. Have yourself a good time. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.